Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am sitting here watching the Florida-Tennessee football game, and there's something that a lot of people don't realize, I don't think, about Tennessee. First of all, if you don't know already, I grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee. I lived in Cleveland, Tennessee from about the first grade through the 7th grade, and then we moved to Georgia. But what a lot of people don't realize is that people in Tennessee are just as big on football, is as big a deal there as it is for the University of Alabama. That's how big Tennessee is. In fact, I think Tennessee has the first or second largest football stadium in the country, or at least they used to. It's very loud in that stadium, but football's a big deal in Tennessee. And these poor people have suffered since they had Peyton Manning. It has been a brutal year after year. It has been tough on them. And so this year's no different. They are really having a tough time. And I have friends who went to the University of Tennessee, and believe you me, I make fun of them often and give them a very hard time via text messages. And if anything goes wrong with Auburn, they're sure to let me have it too. So it's all in fun. Now, first, let's talk about Cryptopolis for a minute. Cryptopolis was on Brad Combs' show this past week. Very smart guy, very intelligent guy. And so yesterday I floated the idea that I needed to have a Treasury Secretary of the Digital Asset Investor channel. This would be the person who could tell you all what our interest rate policy is here on the show. Because I personally feel like the interest rate policy of the federal government is a complete joke. And that goes for most governments around the world as well. So I thought that it was important that we have our own Treasury Secretary so that we can have an interest rate policy. So today I'm going to name Cryptopolis. He said he applied for the job. He's going to be the official Treasury Secretary of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Now, we also have a guy, Nicodonia, who is at Mark_Phillips. He asked for a unique title, and I did not have a title such as this. We also, on this channel, need to have a Defense Department of sorts. And so he has applied to be the official Minister of Defense against the dark arts of the Digital Asset Investor channel. I was a fan of Harry Potter. I watched all of the Harry Potter movies because my oldest grew up during that time when all of that was really popular. Still is popular, I guess. But so now we have the official Minister of Defense against the dark arts of the Digital Asset Investor channel. So we're protected, I guess you would say, against the dark arts. All right, whatever that means. Okay, now I told you, I let all of you vote on Twitter as to what I was going to be smoking this weekend. So brisket it is. Now, I will tell you that I also smoked a pork butt because Mr. Skinny said, why not smoke both? Because if you're going to go out and spend a bunch of money on a brisket because they're expensive, you may as well do a pork butt as well. So they are all on the smoker right now. And maybe I'll take a picture when I'm slicing it up later on and show you that juicy picture too. But for those of you that don't know, the way I do a brisket is I like to get au jus and inject the au jus into I think I'm saying that right, au jus, inject it into the brisket. But this time, my injector, I couldn't find the needle part of it. I think my wife either threw it away or did something. Couldn't find the needle. And so today I tried something different. I just put it in a pan and poured the au jus over the top of it. And then once the au jus is in the pan, then I put some vegetable oil on the brisket and then put the rub and then just smoked it like that. So hopefully it will have that same kind of flavoring that I want. All right, enough on that. Okay, this is from Catherine Coley, she's the CEO of Binance America, which just opened this week. And she tweeted this out. Yeah, and I can already tell just from this tweet that she is going to be a good CEO for that company because she is trying to communicate with the people. It's that or connect to the customers is the way I see this. It's that kind of San Francisco morning where I wish I had a hoodie. And she's tweeting this out from Binance US. Start your Saturday morning off right with coffee and crypto, and I would say cinnamon too. Get $15 when you complete $100 in trade volume. Earn an additional $15 for each friend you invite who does the same. Win a first edition Binance.us hoodie. I want one of those. At this. So anyway, you can get involved here. I cannot open a Binance account. I would love to be able to, but I can't because they're not open for Georgia yet. And I think, let's see, Georgia, I'm not sure. I've showed you the list of the states the other day. All right. Brian Melancholy, XRP at Mike Honcho _11 sent me this. Just playing, this is from this guy, LUD-XRP, just playing around with Photoshop and patterns. And again, I'm not a chartist. I just thought this was an interesting thing the guy was doing. So I thought that you guys may find it interesting too. So don't come after me for showing a chart, everybody. The underlayer is a pattern from February until May this year. The layer which I am laying on top is the one that's playing out right now. Possible breakout coming. And he's laying over the chart from, what did he say, February till May? Because remember, we went up to as high as about 49 cents. And he's saying that this chart is laying over the exact same way and looks very similar where we are now versus where we were before it ran up back then. So pretty cool. Next, Heisenberg. And I'm getting excited every time I see Heisenberg because in October, they're going to do the Breaking Bad movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the Breaking Bad movie. But I've been told that Walter White is in the movie, and I'm very excited about that. So Heisenberg sent me this. I was reading through this, and I was like, man, there are some smart people in this community. But I think that Ian Northing was just having a little bit of fun here. Okay, just for fun. And I don't know what this word is, but work, whatever. It's quite interesting. We know Swell is in Singapore 7th through the 8th of November. And then he says, we know Ripple expanded into Singapore with 12 to 24 staff. There's 2324 number again. And then he says, the Singapore Grand Prix is now 2021-22 September, and it's 23 turns. There's that number again with 23 turns. And then he says it's a night race. And surprising, Ripple and the Grand Prix use the same picture. And he's talking about how this is the picture that Ripple uses there, and then this is the Grand Prix picture. And then he says, surprised to find out the last turn of the race is the 23rd corner where they have a luxury bar called 23. That's the luxury bar, I guess. And then he says, Ripple's office is right near the track and corner 23. And then he says, interestingly, this is the pick for the race. And it's got a chart. And then it copies Joel Katz and says, you're good. So anyway, I think I think Ian Northing is just having a little fun on this Saturday. So don't take it too serious, folks out there. Just chill out. Okay, we're good. All right. Next, from Michael at VAL5 Links. Upbit Exchange delists privacy coins due to money laundering concerns. In a September 20 notice, Upbit announced that the exchange will delist and cease trading support for these digital assets. These are all privacy coins where people could hide money. I've told you this before, and I'm going to tell you again. I don't own any of these privacy coins for this reason, because if there's no liquidity for me to possibly sell out of them one day, then I am not going to be an owner. I mean, I understand why a drug dealer or something might have money in a lot of these. And there may always be a black market for a lot of these things, but I'm not. I'm here to make an honest return on my investment. I'm not trying to hide anything, and so that's what I stay away from those things, and I would recommend most people should do the same. Now, this guy, this tripped me out. This guy, he looks so serious. Tarik Buress, he's a cosmetics, I guess a cosmetic dentist or something. Says he went to Harvard. Looks like a pretty sharp guy. Looks like a very intense guy. Well, he sent me this, and this is a video. You can find it at The Money Game. Why Michael Burry is predicting a stock market crash. The guy that was in The Big Short, who was the very smart guy who called the collapse of the stock market and everything. The same guy is saying that we have similar things going on now in the stock market, and he's calling for another crash. This video lays out all of the thoughts and what's going on right now. It's worth going to watch. It's called Why Michael Burry is Predicting a Stock Market Crash. And then Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. After 2008, with the bank bailout, as publicly known to include $700 billion plus another $400 to $600 billion in TARP, the number was understood to be about $1.2 trillion in total. The general public does not know about the additional $16 trillion dispensed by the Fed globally. And that's what this Forbes article is about. It's called the Big Bank Bailout. I'm not going into the article, but you should go check it out. Just go Google the Big Bank Bailout and you can find it. It is disgusting what our government has done. Just disgusting. Sheena Patel at Sheena Patel 29. But remember, it's all to protect we the consumers. They're doing this all for us, right? Sheena Patel at Sheena Patel 29 sent me this. Ian Northing's on fire today. Just let this sink in. And he's tweeting out that Ripple Mafia thing we talked about in the last video. The integration of Ripple with Temenos and B2B finance software solution will allow Ripple to gain access to over 500 million consumers and 3,000 financial institutions in more than 150 countries. Yeah. Let that sink in, folks. NBK Crypto at NBKLYRAD sent me this. Look, now what he's tweeting out this from the XRP Researcher in reference to the Ripple lawsuit, and I think he highlights an important thing here. Looks like this guy's lawsuit was filed against the wrong party. The guy didn't buy XRP from Ripple. He didn't buy anything from Ripple. There was no interaction of any kind between this guy and Ripple. Lawsuit needs to be tossed. Maybe he should have filed against the exchange. Now, my understanding, and here I'll expound on this a little. My understanding of XRP is that the company OpenCoin, Ripple was a newly created company. OpenCoin was actually the company, this is my understanding, that issued XRP. And if I'm right, he needs to be suing OpenCoin, which no longer exists, is the way I understand it. And so in order to sue someone, you have to have what's called standing to sue. And that simply means that they have to have been harmed by you, not by OpenCoin. So this could be a very legitimate reason for this thing being thrown out of court. Easily, you could see that happen. The crypto utility guy at Utility Guy 7 sent me this, and this, everybody should go read this article. This is an article done by XRP Researcher. He has his own website, and the link to it's right here. His website is called xrprightnow.com. And here's the article. He shows you the connections and how Ripple is connected to Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. It's worth a read, and it'll really put things together in your mind. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that Cryptopolis, who is now the official Treasury Secretary of the Digital Asset Investor channel, should be telling us what his interest rate policy is soon. Thank you for listening. And go watch Georgia drop kick Notre Dame tonight. I'll be watching.